With the ouster of Tucker Carlson, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, claims that the First Amendment is dead. But is it? Hey, this is Attorney Drew Page. Welcome to the Drew Page channel. In this video, we're going to talk about some tweets that Robert Kiyosaki put up about the ouster of Tucker Carlson as well as Bongino from Fox News and his claims that it impacts the First Amendment. And then we're going to look at the reality of what the First Amendment is all about and talk about what the implications are most likely for Tucker Carlson and the other ousted Fox News host. If you found this video helpful, please like the video. It'll help my channel a lot. Appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date with videos that come, and let me know if there's any particular topics you'd like me to talk about. So on his Twitter page, Robert Kiyosaki, after the announcement of Tucker Carlson being removed as a Fox News anchor, posted a couple of tweets. And the first tweet he says is this: Tucker and Bongino released from Fox, two of our country's strongest voices. Bye-bye freedom of speech. Hello woke Marxism. Now, there has obviously been a lot of outcry among conservatives about the ouster of Tucker Carlson and believing that it was based on, some sort of woke ideology and all these other things. But this is a particular tweet with a particular claim that it's bye-bye freedom of speech. But freedom of speech has no impact on agreements. Now, as you know, there is a lawsuit that was pending between Dominion and Fox. It was set for trial. It got delayed for a period of time. And then suddenly it was all out of the blue announced that Tucker Carlson was being released from Fox News. And many believe that that was actually part of the agreed settlement between Dominion and Fox News, among other things. Oddly enough, that same day, Don Lemon was fired from CNN, likely because of comments that he made regarding Governor and Ambassador Nikki Haley. So it was very interesting that these two outspoken analysts were removed from their positions on the exact same day. But what does freedom of speech have to do with this? Robert Kiyosaki says freedom of speech is bye-bye. And what does that mean? These are private companies. Both Fox News and Dominion are private companies. Does the First Amendment implicate private companies? Well, only if the government takes some action to coerce private speech is the First Amendment implicated. Let's take a look at the First Amendment and see what it says. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. So the First Amendment protects speech against the government, against Congress. It protects individuals against coercion of free speech by the state through what's called the Substantive Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment. Now, that's basically a lot of what has been relied on in some of the abortion case in the substantive due process in regard to state action. Whether that's going to be a continued issue to chip away at by the Supreme Court, this substantive due process, remains to be seen. We'll see what happens with that. But at this point in time, the First Amendment is made applicable to the states through the 14th Amendment Substantive Due Process Clause. And so it protects against government speech. Now, if Dominion and Fox have entered into some sort of agreement between two private companies to settle a lawsuit, that it has nothing to do with the First Amendment, has nothing to do with freedom of speech. That has to do with business decisions. Now, what can people do when private conglomerate, big businesses make decisions that we don't agree with, that he claims are woke Marxism? Well, you look at his second tweet. It says, "Don't cry for Tucker Carlson or Dan Bongino. They are rock stars who will become greater rock stars. They are the next Jordan Peterson. Free human beings, empowered by our freedom of speech. Our freedom of speech is worth fighting and dying for. God bless America." So he himself notes that it doesn't mean that they're going to be silenced. In fact, their platforms may actually get bigger. It just means that they're not going to be on these particular news channels. If you are dissatisfied with a product that a company's putting out there, like for instance, people are talking about how woke Disney is. Well, you can always cancel your Disney Plus, and you can always not go to the Disney parks, and you cannot feed into the ESPN stuff that you don't want. You take private individual action against companies that you disagree with. It has nothing to do with your freedom of speech. All you have to do is change the channel or follow wherever the person is that you want to go. There is no doubt that Tucker Carlson is going to get another position somewhere, and if you want to hear his voice, you'll be able to hear it. They're not going to be able to stomp it out completely. They're not going to be able to do the government's not going to be able to shut it completely down. Same with Bongino, and frankly, same with Don Lemon. Those are market decisions, and ultimately, it's up to the consumers to demonstrate to a company if they're dissatisfied with the decision that they've made in changing the platform, to change the voice of or the face of your business. It's up to the consumers to demonstrate that. That's what we call a capitalistic free market society. So it's not that your freedom of speech is under attack. The issue is that two private businesses have made a business decision, and the question is it going to work to their profit or is it going to work to their detriment? That's up to you, the consumer, but it has nothing to do with the freedom of speech. There's no evidence that the government in any way compelled this to take place. Now, if something comes up, obviously I will share that, and that would be a tremendously huge story. And maybe that would have something to do with why CNN at the same time, dumps one of their primetime analysts the same time that Fox News does. I don't know. It was very weird, but at this point, there's no evidence to suggest that the government in any way compelled this change of speech, and therefore freedom of speech is not impacted. You have just as much right to say anything you want to about this. You can disagree with it. You can agree with it. You can stop watching Fox News. You can stop watching CNN. And frankly, I don't watch either one. I'm a CNBC guy myself. And, we get most of my other news from direct sources. I don't get it from, Fox and CNN. They're too politicized for me. I don't really care for that. If you go watch CNBC, you can follow the money. They obviously have some political stuff on there. You can change the channel like I do when they get the political stuff on there. And that's my freedom of speech, to take the remote and turn it off. And then I can go find the sources that I want to find. So freedom of speech is alive and well. It has not been attacked because Tucker Carlson and Bongino no longer work at Fox. So to tweet that to just get people riled up, it's a misdirection. So your freedom of speech is fine, and you can feel free to watch whichever one of these analysts wherever they go, and you're free to not watch them if you don't want to as well. So anyway, hope you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think that this is a freedom of speech issue? And if so, why? What evidence do you have that this is a freedom of speech issue? And let me know in the comments what you think. Is Fox going to end up paying for this? Is CNN going to pay for their decision to let go of Lemon, or are they going to be fine? Let me know down in the comments. And until next time, stay tuned.